Hello and welcome. My name is Jody Lynn Craven, founder of Abundance Consciousness, and this is my dear friend Heather Marie.
Hi, I'm Heather Marie, founder of Soulgate. Welcome to Channel Squared, where we have extraordinary channeled conversations about everyday life topics. Every week, we choose a topic, connect with you, the divine, and our guides, and then channel here with you live.
Yes, and today we're talking about how in the face of darkness, you can create an experience through the light. We all know this, that our perception is creating our reality, what we focus on, our energy goes to, and then we create more of that. So because of last week's episode, when we were talking all about predictions, and there was some stuff, mainly that it's going to get a little bit worse before it gets better, but hopefully it's the light. And a big message in that conversation was paying attention to the things that you desire. So we are going to go through rapid fire, some of the ways that you can create your reality, your experience in 2023 through the light. What's the first one, Heather? How do we do this?
Well, the first thing is do you agree? Right? Do you agree? So when you are consuming content, you are watching the news, you're consuming food, you're all of this consumption, right? We are consumers. So as you're consuming, do you agree with how it makes you feel, what it makes you think, what's happening to you as you're consuming? So I'm going to give you an example. If you are watching the news and it's all doom and gloom, the sky is falling, the earth is shattering, the whole world's coming to an end, do you agree with that? Is your world experiencing that? Are you experiencing that? Are you?
Are you
Because are you really? Yeah. There's so many things that I hear that I am like, is that really happening? Because I am not experiencing that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? Is it true for me? Do I want to subscribe to that?
Ooh, beautiful. Oh, I love that. And it's like taking the idea of like you vote with your wallet. Well, you also vote with your attention, with your energy. You keep turning on the news program. If you don't agree with it, like you're a viewer and they're counting viewers, and everything is based on the viewers and how long you watched. You can turn it off and say, no, I want to find a new provider of current events that has a different spin on things. Maybe it's I don't want to put politics into here, so I'll just leave that out. But, is there a different spin that you can look at? And that brings us right to perspective. Our perspective is directly creating our reality. And often we get stuck with these blinders on of, we only see what is in front of us. And the way that we perceive it is the way that it is. And it's time. The second one would be to question that. Is this the only way? Yeah. Is this the only way to see it? Is this the only perspective of this scenario that exists? And the resounding answer is no, it's not the only way. In a world of a billion possibilities, a billion perspectives to exist, a billion timelines do exist. So is there a way that you can look at this that feels better? More empowering?
Absolutely. 1,000,000%, 1,000,000%. So if you're being told something, let's put politics in this, okay? Because I think politics are really, and it's so funny because I always say I don't channel at all on politics. So let's put politics in it just for a second because it's so wackadoodle right now, right? So if we put politics into it and we look at politics the way it is today, you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, everything is just a train wreck. But is it really? Yes, there are things that are being distortions that are occurring. There are, difference of opinions, policies are being written, laws are being passed, all of this stuff is occurring. But if you don't subscribe to it, is it affecting you?
Mm-hmm.
maybe someday it will affect you. And maybe, I'm naive to think that if I stick my head in the sand and ignore it, that it will just go away. Or I can look at it and go, is this affecting me? How is this affecting me? And do I subscribe to the feelings that I get by however it's affecting or not affecting me?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm having this perspective that the sky is falling because my government is completely a shit show, how is that actually affecting me? And if it is affecting me, if it's truly affecting me, who am I going to be to make it change? Which leads us to our next thing.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like a two-part. Who are you being right now? And are you being who the world needs?
Boom.
Boom. Are you being who the world needs? Or, lending on what you were just saying about, the government is so corrupt and they're so awful. Like I hear that all the time about Canada. Like both sides are awful. They're both corrupt and it's a shit show here. Okay, you could take that perspective and you could run with it and like everything is messed up. Okay. Or I could take another perspective and look at not everybody in the world is bad. Okay. Not everybody in the world is bad. So that must mean that there's some good people in politics. Okay. I know that the light wins. Okay. So is there something that I can do as simple as awareness? Awareness of like, okay, I see the corruption happening there. And maybe you have a conversation with somebody else of, hey, did you know that they're, a quick example of Canada, they're trying to pass a $2 billion bill to invest in a company that hasn't even been created yet. Probably a bad idea. Like maybe there's a petition, maybe, you can subscribe to somebody's video that's talking about it. So boost it in the algorithm. Who am I being? And is it what the world needs right now? And that kind of leads us to number 4.
Go ahead.
Being is way more important than doing. We get so stuck in the hamster wheel of life of do. I got to do all of this stuff. I got to make more money so I can, afford it with inflation. And I got to work harder to build my business so I have a big security net and all of these things. What our guides resoundingly said is being is more important than doing in this year, in creating through the light. And being, what they're saying about being is how you feel. Being at peace, being tranquil, being calm, being joyous, being in these states is way more important and is going to have a bigger, more profound effect on your life and profound effect on the world around you that you can see and that you cannot see as well than physically doing stuff. So spend time taking care of your state, how you're feeling, calm your nervous system, find tools that work for you to calm your nervous system, learn how to meditate, learn to get onto the yoga mat if that's what's for you, go out in nature. And that brings us to number 5.
Okay, before we get to number 5, I would like to say that you being in a state of joy is infectious. So when you are taking care of you, you are sprinkling your excess on the world around you. So really be who it is that is going to bring forth this joy, this high vibration, so that you can sprinkle that fairy dust, sparkly joyness everywhere. So number 5. What was number 5?
Nature, I think, or that's number
nature.
6. I don't even know what number we're on anymore, to be honest.
Yeah.
But nature.
So nature. Okay. So for those of you who don't live near nature, that is totally an escape route. Okay. Just because you don't live in nature doesn't mean you can't get into nature. So, one of the things that I hear from people sometimes is like, oh, I live in a big city. I'm in the middle of New York and I don't live anywhere near Central Park, right? Nature doesn't have to be outside. Nature can be inside. Get yourself some plants, run yourself a bath. Water is inherently of the nature, right? So, run water over your feet off of your balcony. Shoot, your neighbor will be blessed with some water below you. So, the thing is about nature is nature can be inside just as much as it is outside. Just get out in the sun. Experience the warmth of the sun on your skin. If you live in a place that doesn't have sun this time of year, it's okay. Do it anyway. Even if you're not getting all of the sun, you're getting some of the sun. Just the act of going outside and breathing the air is being in nature. So when you hear people say, oh, get into nature, and you're rolling your eyes because you're like, I don't have any darn nature. I live in a freaking massive city. Those of you that are in China that really do live in concrete jungles, bring the nature inside. Go out and invest in a few plants that you can care for and you can love on, and they can love on you. Nature doesn't just have to be outside. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting, coming back to perspective, you started out with New York. I live in this big city, I live in New York. There's no nature here. And I've only ever been to I've only ever been to New York once. And because I am, I guess, seeking nature all the time, I'm, I am profoundly
Connected to the earth.
Yeah, exactly. Everywhere I went, there was like just this little park full of trees and grass and stuff like that. Like, I expected to see a concrete jungle, and I actually saw trees, and I was not expecting it. And I thought it was so incredibly beautiful. So I love that, you bring that up, and I love how you're challenging the viewership, challenging ourselves to find nature around you. It could be as simple as, your gemstones that you have a collection of. I have a collection right behind me. Nature. They came from nature, right?
Yep.
Water, like you were saying, take a bath. Sage is incredible at helping your system, detoxify and just come back to this state of equilibrium. There's lots of options here for you, and nature is here to support you and ground you. So find a way to incorporate that in. Okay. The silver lining. Can you find the silver lining in what is happening, in all of the dark corners of the things that are happening that you are seeing and consuming with your mind? Our mind kind of runs away on us, and all we see is bad. But can you see the silver lining? And this has been the challenge of my life, and actually what I pride myself on, because the most darkest moments I've ever been through, I see the light. And I see how joy still lived within them, even in the darkest moments of my own life. So can you challenge yourself to find a silver lining?
Well, and I think, one of the things that the guide said last week was about the contrast. Everything that's playing out on the world stage right now is to provide contrast. And if you see it as simply as contrast, and you don't subscribe to it as anything else but contrast, that in and of itself is the silver lining. You're seeing through the shenanigans as something nothing more than contrast, contrary to what it is that you want. That is silver lining in a nutshell. When you are running late, or maybe you're not running late, maybe you're perfectly on time, and then you get detoured off of the road in a totally different way, and now you're running late, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so late. And I left early. Darn it. Maybe you're detoured out of something that could have harmed you. And you can look at that as like, you know what? I'm going to arrive when I arrive. And I'm sorry that I'm late. I had good intentions to get here early, but the universe was protecting me from something and took me on a detour.
Mm-hmm.
There's the silver lining.
Absolutely. There's always a silver lining because one, like the positive cannot exist without the negative, and the negative without the positive. So above, so below, and as within, so without. It's
Right.
the law of the world we live within.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. The next one was disagree with your thoughts that aren't serving you.
Yeah.
Disagree with
So
them.
this is quite simply just that, disagree. So you have the thought of the whole world is coming to an end. Is that true? No,
No.
it's not. Just disagree. Be okay, thought, thank you. I hear you and I disagree. I disagree. I just choose something different than what you just told me. No,
Yeah.
thank you. Pass. Hard pass. No thanks.
Hard pass.
Yep. So anybody who knows me personally knows that I get in my head a lot about my physique. And so I run the racket in my mind all the time that I need to lose weight, I need to exercise more, but the reality is that I'm pretty healthy. I eat well.
Yeah.
I have a mindset practice that I work on. I meditate. I have loving relationships in my life. I care very deeply about the people that are in my life. And my physical shape is just my body right now. I mean, that's the reality. It just is what it is, right? But my mind wants to tell me that I am just fat and unhealthy and hideous, right?
Aww.
Hard pass. Thank you, but
Yeah.
no thanks. I'm not going
Nope.
to subscribe to that. And it's a racket that I run all the time. And it's something that I cycle through all the time. But it's something that keeps me from really beating myself up.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we all have moments like that. We all have moments where our mind just wants to take us down the death spiral around the rim of the toilet and down the drain. And the fact is that you get to choose, and you can say, do I agree or disagree? I reject that thought.
Yep. I love that. That's beautiful. And actually another one just downloaded. And it's really funny because this is the advice that your guides gave me the other day. We were doing some channeling about a project, and Heather's guides were like, yeah, Jody's stuck in fear. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid at all. And then I asked my guides, okay, like obviously this is coming up for a reason. And I was seeding these fears into the people that were in our group. I was cultivating it. And obviously I don't want to do that. I'd like to let go of these things. So I had asked my guides to bring the information to my conscious awareness, not the feeling of the fear, but the information, so that I could see it, so that I could write it down. And what Heather's guides recommended to let the fear go. And I think I'm free to give up this example because it's pretty generic. Was to write them all down and then put them in a bowl and go outside and light them on fire and like put it up to the sky and give it up to God, the universe, to take care of. Like, I allow all of these fears to go with the flames and the ashes and to be carried away and taken care of. And you know what? It's so interesting because I started with the opinion of, I'm not really afraid of anything. No, I'm fine. I'm fine. 2.5 pages later of bullshit that has come up and through. So obviously those fears were still living within me. So what downloaded just now was let it go. Let those fears go. Have practices like that, where you just simply like use a seashell, put all of your fears into this seashell, light the papers on fire and let it go. You can do cord cutting ceremonies. You can hire somebody to help you with this. And that actually leads into the next thing that I downloaded. Do you have more to add on that one yet, Heather?
No, that's beautiful. I love it.
The last thing that downloaded for me was Buddy Up. Buddy up. Instead of finding a person that you can complain with, find a person that lifts you up and gets you excited to talk about what could be. So you don't feel crazy for thinking like that's never going to happen, or I don't know, I can't see the silver lining. Buddy up. Start collecting some people into your life that you can lean on, and they can lean on you, and you guys can both lift one another up and celebrate one another and the excitement, get into the frequency of excitement of what is yet to come.
You know, that is one of the things that I cherish the most in my life, is that I have amazing, beautiful relationships with people around me. So, you know, I have a beautiful friendship with you and our friend Jackie, and I have a beautiful relationship with my husband and, you know, your husband and Jackie's husband. And I think that we have a really beautiful friendship. And I think the thing that's so fantastic about it is how we all challenge each other when the challenge needs to occur. So, you know, I may be on my woe is me, life is so hard, want story, right? And you or Jackie or anyone in our, you know, friendship circle will be like, really, Heather, I challenge that. And I'm like, darn it, I'm not going to get away with it today. And the thing that's so wonderful about it is that I know that I can come in my full vulnerability, my full authenticity, and that the space will be held for me to heal. And so find somebody. There's always somebody. And if there's not, call us. Okay. Yeah. We'll hold the space for you. We'll challenge your thoughts. We'll brainwash you into believing that you're absolutely fabulous, because you are, and there's no brainwashing required. But find somebody that you can have this time with, that you can have these conversations with, that you can move through this tumultuous thought pattern that you may be having, because the buddy system works.
Yes. Couldn't agree more. Whether you need a kick in the ass or a hand up, you know, having people in your corner to do this for you. So important. And again, if you don't have somebody like that, set the intention that you're going to find the perfect person. I mean, look at us. We didn't even know each other in 2020. Like, we met in 2020. Mm-hmm. That was the first time that we met and became, you know, the best of friends. And
yep.
Your people, your tribe, the people that you're meant to be around are just waiting for you to set the intention, or to reach that point where you're ready.
Yep. And ask for it to come. You know, I know that we throw the words around, you know, set the intention, right? But what does that actually look like? Set the intention is, hey, universe, high self, master guide, ascended masters, my whole team, guide team, I am ready for a bestie to come into my life to support me in my growth in a positive and uplifting way. Thank you. Bring it. I'm ready. That is setting the intention. That is making the request. And then you give it up. You go, here you go. Bring me. I'm going to go wash my hair. Yeah. Right. So that is as simple as it is. You know, if some people get really caught up in the when, how is it going to happen? I see this a lot with like romantic partnership. Mm-hmm. People will get kind of hung up in like, you know, well, what is he going to be like? Where am I going to meet him? How am I going to meet him? You know, what's going to happen? And it's like, they want to know all the details about it. And there's none of the magic if you know all the details.
Yeah.
Just know that if you're ready, and you've made the request. Now you sit around and eat bonbons and wait for it to happen, right? You go do your life so that the universe can bring it in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean literally go sit on your butt and eat bonbons, because you're not going to meet anybody sitting on your couch. But, you know, go out and live your life, and live the life that you want to live with this person.
Yep. Ooh,
Yeah.
beautiful message. Whew, we went through these quick.
We did. Well, we knew it would be quick. This was rapid fire after all.
Rapid fire. Yes. In the face of darkness, creating through the light, rapid fire style. Anything that
Exactly.
you want to add?
Just do it. Stop thinking about it. Stop contemplating. Stop asking everybody else how to do it, and just do it. Just, who are you? What do you want to be? Who do you want to attract? How do you want to live your life? What do you want to subscribe to? These are all questions that nobody asks. And I know this because I work with people all the time, and I say, well, what is it that you want? And they're like, I don't know. I don't know what I want. Well, start there.
Yeah.
What do you want? Who do you want to be? What experience do you want to have? Do you subscribe to the experience that you're having now? How can you change it?
And when your brain says that's not possible, a cheeky way to respond is, it already happened.
It already happened.
It already
Exactly.
happened. Because it
Exactly.
has in some timeline in this universe, it has already happened. All the things that you desire. It's just connecting and aligning with that until boop, it's right in front of you.
Exactly. If you are loving this conversation, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, tell your friends to subscribe. We're trying to reach the world, and we can't do it without you.
That's right. Amazing. Thanks for being with us today. We will see you next week when we're talking about duality. Thanks for watching.